If I'm Bob Iger, you know what we're doing? Emergency meeting. We're putting Snow White on hold for 2 years, and guess what?
Smart.
Pay her a couple $1,000,000, go away. We're going to bring another person to play this role.
It has proven to be Disney's worst investment ever in the history of Disney investments. I mean, they've gone through various scandals with this girl.
Just listen to what she says. She just and angry.
Audiences stayed away, and even her own cast and crew are calling her out. Disney's own CEO's son posted that she hijacked the film and then deleted it after it went viral. Oh, and that #1 movie in the world claim she made? Deleted. In a surprising twist that's left Disney fans buzzing, the legendary Snow White ride could be on the chopping block. And guess what? Rachel Zegler isn't staying silent about it. Just after making waves with her bold take on modernizing the classic tale, Zegler is back in the spotlight, doubling down on her views and adding even more fuel to the fiery debate among die-hard Disney lovers.
You had Rachel Zegler on the docket too. I think actresses should be quiet. I understand why.
Is it a much-needed update, or a step too far for fans who grew up loving the magic of the 1937 classic? The debate is heating up as the battle between nostalgia and change rages on. Zegler's latest remarks are only adding fuel to the fire, pulling even more focus onto the film's bold reimagining. After all, the original Snow White wasn't just a movie. It was a groundbreaking moment in animation history.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again.
It proved that animated films could capture hearts across all ages, following a brave young heroine, an evil queen, and a lovable band of dwarfs. Its massive success laid the foundation for generations of family storytelling. Dropping at a time when color animation was still a fresh concept, it lit up the industry and solidified Disney's role as a trailblazer. With countless re-releases and spin-offs over the years, its legacy has only grown stronger.
Said she hated Snow White, mocked the fact that there was a prince, and that she falls in love as opposed to leaning into her own power. We could go on.
Letting new generations relive the magic that once defined animated classics, Disney keeps diving back into its vault, revamping timeless tales into bold live-action blockbusters. Some of these remakes really strike gold, blending that nostalgic charm with smart updates to reflect today's world while still honoring the spirit of the originals.
They postponed the release of this thing, Ben, for a year because their star, Rachel Zegler, was so unlikable.
But not all remakes land well. Some come off as forced, drawing criticism for leaning too much on name recognition without offering real depth. While fans of reboots argue they bring fresh perspectives and promote inclusivity, skeptics worry that constant updates can strip away the soul of the original stories people have cherished for years.
They've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now, and how they had her tweet out like a little, "Yay, Snow White, can't wait, so excited, I love to play her."
At first, fans were thrilled by the idea of revisiting the classic Snow White story. Many expected the same beloved plot and heartfelt themes, just enhanced by modern visuals and fresh perspectives. But as rumors swirled, concerns grew. Leaked. Set photos hinted at major changes to iconic supporting characters, once known for their distinct portrayal. Soon, the buzz turned into debate. Had the remake gone too far and drifted from the essence that made the original so unforgettable?
And she did it and got like millions of views, and they were like, "Good job, Rachel." And then she, like minutes later, followed it up with, "And never forget, free Palestine." This is just like a few months after 10/7.
Many believe the remake risks losing the charm that made the original a beloved classic. At the center of the debate is lead actress Rachel Zegler, who's openly criticized parts of the vintage Snow White story she finds outdated. Her comments about the film's original flaws triggered strong backlash. She's expressed a clear goal: to reshape the main character into a stronger, more independent figure, stepping away from what she sees as outdated storytelling norms.
Yes, Gal Gadot, whatever.
I mean, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
She's Jewish, and apparently this actually, all hell broke loose.
Some longtime fans of the 1937 classic felt her comments came off as dismissive. They questioned if someone so critical of a legacy film should be the one bringing its iconic character to life. These critics argue there's more depth to the original than it's often given credit for, highlighting its role as a milestone in animation and storytelling, not just a tale about a passive heroine.
She's now bragging about the success of Snow White, which is a movie that's going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars, and mainly because of her, and because nobody wanted to support her.
As new details surfaced, focus shifted to rumors about reimagining the seven dwarfs, long seen as key to Snow White's identity, into a diverse group of magical characters. While some viewed the change as a thoughtful response to outdated stereotypes, others argued it unnecessarily altered a defining feature of the original tale.
Yeah, we had more dwarfs than we did viewers in most of these theaters. And as you know, there were no dwarfs other than some CGI weird generated version of them. It's the old, it truly is go woke, go broke.
The buzz around The Flash has reignited a bigger debate in entertainment. Should we update old stories to fit today's values? Or create brand new ones that offer better representation? This controversy has reignited a bigger conversation. Has Disney lost its storytelling spark? Critics argue the studio leans too heavily on remakes, rather than creating bold, original stories that could become the next generation's treasured classics.
This weird feminist thing where her heroine cannot be in love or be saved by a man, the prince, that she's more focused on becoming the leader she was meant to be, as if women in modern day America must make that choice.
Many are starting to question whether Disney's creative direction is more about cashing in on nostalgia than crafting bold, original stories. Meanwhile, rival studios are gaining traction by taking risks and embracing fresh, visionary storytelling. That's why some argue Disney's remake-heavy formula may be running out of steam, especially as audiences grow tired of watching the same tales rehashed again and again. Adding to the pressure is the film's massive budget and everything riding on its success. If fans turn away, or worse, boycott the movie over perceived disrespect, it won't just hurt box office numbers. Merch sales could crash too, shaking the foundation of Disney's entire reboot-driven strategy. The stakes are sky high. A serious backlash could damage Snow White, dent Disney's credibility, and make the studio think twice before launching. Similar projects. Still, not everyone believes it's over. Some say there's still a chance this film could beat the odds and turn the controversy into a surprising comeback story.
You cannot both be a leader as a female and fall in love and be rescued by a prince. That's incongruous bullshit. That's only the left's version of what it means to be a strong woman or female empowerment.
Some viewers are genuinely curious. Can a modern take on self-reliance and deeper character development still capture the magic of Snow White? In some circles, there's hope that today's advanced filmmaking tools might enhance the fantasy, while honoring the timeless values that made the story beloved for generations. The big question is whether the creative team can pull it all together into a cohesive final product that earns its bold changes. If they succeed in making the story feel both familiar and refreshed, it might even win over the skeptics. What happens next could have a ripple effect. A strong box office showing could validate Disney's bold approach, proving that even legendary stories like Snow White can evolve and thrive in a world that expects more from its heroes.
So, this woman has clicked every box. And just for cherry on top at the end, she gave an interview last week talking about how they were basically a bunch of white supremacists on the set of West Side Story.
If the film flops, many believe it could spark a major shift, forcing Disney execs to rethink whether these massive reimaginings are worth the risk of alienating loyal fans. A renewed focus on original storytelling might gain momentum, especially if audiences push back against major changes to beloved classics. One way or another, this project marks a pivotal moment. It's a test of whether Snow White can truly be retold for a new era without losing the heart of what made it special. It's also a spotlight on Rachel Zegler. How far can she critique the story's legacy without triggering intense backlash? Even if the film ends up polished and visually stunning, public opinion may have already been locked in by early interviews, leaks, or on-set rumors. Whatever happens, the outcome will likely shape Disney's strategy on reboots and remakes for years to come.
Where Steven Spielberg and co. were demanding that she prove how Latina she really is, since her name doesn't sound Latina, and she was angrily saying, did I have to bring in my little abuelita for you to believe that I was Latina?
Controversy has always been part of entertainment. Each new era faces the challenge of honoring classic stories while staying relevant to modern audiences. But when the original film is seen as a cultural milestone, like Snow White, the stakes rise. For many, altering such a cornerstone feels risky, even disrespectful. The heart of the conflict lies in balancing progress with preserving the emotional legacy that shaped generations. Rachel Zegler's outspoken comments have only heightened the divide. To some viewers, hearing a leading star label the original as outdated feels like more than a critique. It's seen as dismissing a film that helped define animation history. The result is a growing tension between creative evolution and fan nostalgia, making this remake one of the most closely watched cultural moments in recent memory.
That's her thanks to Steven Spielberg, who discovered her and made her. So she's an ingrate, she's annoying, and I think she's probably two and done.
Many have backed the effort to portray the lead heroine with greater agency, viewing it as a necessary and overdue evolution that reflects the times. But these passionate views often collide online, shaping both audience expectations and how Disney steers its messaging. What began as a fan debate has evolved into a broader referendum on how far Hollywood should go when updating cherished stories. In the middle of this uncertainty, there's a sense of fascination. Industry insiders see this as more than just a movie release. It's a test of whether legacy and progress can truly coexist. At the same time, the film's inflated budget raises the stakes even higher. If it fails to earn back its massive investment, it could trigger internal changes at Disney and force a deeper rethink of how future remakes are approached.
Kind of opened her mouth. I think that this movie might have done well. They might have just been able to ride on the hopium of the movie and some well-cut trailers, and people would have paid to go see it, and then it would have fallen off when people knew it was garbage.
This could lead to fewer classic remakes, tighter control over creative direction, or even a more cautious approach to how cast members publicly discuss the legacy of beloved originals. At the heart of this unfolding drama lies a central question: how should a legacy be handled? Some argue that a lighter touch, refining the script or tweaking small elements, would have been a smarter move for Snow White. Others believe the time is right for bold transformation, with a reimagined plot that speaks to today's values. No matter which side gains more traction, the debate has reached a boiling point. Every new clip or comment sparks another wave of discussion. What started as a movie promotion has now become something bigger, a symbol of the larger cultural clash between honoring tradition and embracing change in a rapidly shifting entertainment landscape.
Rachel Zegler made it so hateable that you really sabotaged and took hundreds of millions of dollars from the studio. I don't know how anyone would ever want to go into business with her ever again.
Controversy in entertainment is nothing new, but few debates have gripped the public quite like the one surrounding Disney's reimagining of Snow White. Every generation wrestles with the challenge of honoring beloved classics while making them relevant for modern audiences. But when the original is as foundational as the 1937 Snow White, a film that launched Disney's animation empire, the stakes rise exponentially. For many, reworking such a legacy feels like tampering with sacred ground. At the heart of the controversy lies a difficult balance: the desire to embrace progressive values without erasing elements that carry deep emotional resonance. Rachel Zegler's outspoken stance has only intensified this conflict. To some, her critique of the original film as outdated felt like a dismissal of its place in animation history, a comment that rubbed longtime fans the wrong way. Yet others welcomed her remarks, viewing them as a necessary push toward giving the central heroine more agency. They see it as a long overdue evolution, reflecting how far societal expectations have come. These contrasting perspectives have ignited heated online debates, shifting what could have been a routine film rollout into a full-blown cultural flashpoint. Disney is no longer simply marketing a movie. It's navigating a high-stakes case study in legacy, relevance, and modern identity. Industry analysts highlight that the film's bloated budget only amplifies the pressure. Should it fail to perform, the financial consequences could trigger major internal shakeups at Disney. Everything from tighter creative oversight to reconsidering how freely cast members speak on legacy projects. At the core of it all is one question: how do you update a story millions hold dear without alienating them? Some argue that gentle tweaks to the script and character development might have been enough. Others insist this is the perfect moment to rewrite the narrative in a way that speaks more directly to today's audience. Regardless of the viewpoint, each teaser, comment, or rumor only seems to stoke more debate. The conversation has evolved beyond one film. As the release date nears, curiosity surges. Will preconceived negativity drown out any redeeming qualities the movie offers? Or can Disney's final edits and rebranding efforts sway public opinion? If audiences leave theaters feeling that the changes genuinely enriched Snow White, the remake may be seen as a bold and timely reimagining. If not, it risks becoming a case study in how not to handle nostalgic material. For Rachel Zegler, the stakes are just as high. If the film finds success, early criticism may fade, even be reframed as overreaction. But if it fails, she could shoulder disproportionate blame. Fair or not, in today's media landscape, actors often become the face of a film's public reception, and how Zegler is perceived post-release could affect her future casting opportunities and the trajectory of a career still in its early stages. All of this underscores a deeper, industry-wide dilemma. Disney and the broader entertainment world must grapple with how to stay culturally relevant without losing sight of the magic that built their legacies. This remake of Snow White is more than a film. It's a litmus test for how far a classic can bend before it breaks. If successful, it may empower studios to take greater risks in reimagining sacred stories. If it flops, it might serve as a cautionary tale, halting future reinterpretations in their tracks. Either outcome will influence how Disney and other studios navigate nostalgia in the years ahead. Ultimately, the project's fate may come down to sincerity. If audiences believe the changes are rooted in a genuine desire to enrich the narrative rather than chasing trends or headlines, they might embrace this new version. But if the film feels hollow or pandering, skepticism will dominate. In the end, this Snow White remake stands at a cinematic crossroads. It reflects the push and pull of modern storytelling between honoring legacy and exploring growth. Whatever the verdict, this moment will echo throughout the industry, shaping not just the future of Disney's classics, but how we retell stories that once defined generations.